So if you compare cosmological argument to ontological argument, cosmological argument starts with the facts before us from our experience, and so does the design argument, and that's their strength. And from there, so say, I mean, there are many versions, but this say that this world is contingent, or it is an effect, so it needs a cause and it can't be infinite regress, so we have to either stop at a self-caused cause, which, or we have to stop at necessary reason or necessary being to stop this infinite regress. This is the strength of the cosmological argument is that it starts with experience, facts, start with our reality, the reality as we experience it, and start with the need of our reason to search for the reasons, the ultimate reasons, the ultimate ground of what we experience. And since we can't find those ultimate grounds within the world, we posit them outside the world. Okay, but the problem with cosmological argument is that, firstly, we have no way of knowing that our reasoning corresponds to reality, and that we discussed in Al-Lamikbal's criticism. And I think another major problem with cosmological argument is, although this challenge is not faced by Ilm al-Kalam or Christian theology, because they have their own conception of God. But once you tend to self-cause cause, and you said it's pure reason, as Aristotle says, you don't actually have a good conception of what this being is, because the argument can be satisfied with some generic characteristics of that being, but whether that is self or whether it's a power, on the basis of the argument, you can't decide that. So although cosmological argument is in search of a ultimate being, it doesn't really have any positive conception of that ultimate being. It can mostly it can say that, just negate the limited world we experience and project perfection to that being. But those are really negative characteristics, because we are just negating our experience being and projecting it onto that being, which we think is the cause of this experienced reality. But we actually don't have a positive conception of that ultimate being. Ontological argument, on the other hand, its strength is the weakness of the cosmological argument. Its weaknesses are the strength of the cosmological argument, and I'll explain that in a minute, what I mean by it. Ontological argument, on the other hand, starts with a conception of supreme being, or with the idea, as Descartes would say. And from this idea, it posits its existence. Now, as compared to cosmological argument, it doesn't start with our outer experience, at least. It sort of starts with our idea, what is going on in our mind. And that suits Descartes, obviously. He's one of the, among modernists, he's one of the, it's strange because modern philosophy and modern science is supposed to be experience-based, but as compared to empiricists, as compared to, for example, theology or scholasticism, ontological argument, although it has its basis in Christian philosophers and Christian theology, but it really got prominence in the modern period through Descartes. That's why Iqbal mentions Descartes, and aptly so, I think, because a very Cartesian move from idea, you posits the existence, because for Descartes, if ideas are clear and distinct, then you can't doubt them. the reality of what they are referring to. Anyway, so cosmological argument starts with, as compared to, or in contrast to cosmological argument, it starts with an idea, a conception. And from conception, it posits or derives or infer existence. But it has the reverse problem in the sense that, or the same problem, that even though you have an idea, similar problem, even though you have an idea, there's no way to actually empirically verify that this idea actually exists in reality. You are just saying that it should exist because that's how our mind thinks. In the cosmological argument, you had this problem, but you had also a problem that you didn't have a very good positive conception of ontological argument, positive conception of supreme being. But in ontological argument, we can assume that there's some sort of positive conception, but because it's starting with the conception itself, or at least it is claiming, because it is in Descartes' version, for example, it has bracketed our experiential reality. And for Descartes, our experiential reality has less certainty than our mental reality of ideas in our own mind, as long as they are clear and distinct. So it suits Cartesian worldview, the structure of the argument anyway. So in that sense,